to you.
Yep.
So, Mayank, welcome to this debriefing session, and congratulations on a 730. It's a wonderful score.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Absolutely.
So, I looked at some of the information that you sent across, and you said that you started preparing in November of 2000, end of November is what you said, 2017, and you've been
That's right.
here. So this is early March. I don't know when you took the GMAT. Was it somewhere around end of February?
No, March 3rd. So
March 3rd.
like
Okay.
last
Okay.
Saturday.
It's about three months, give or take. So
Yeah.
that's a pretty
Yeah.
phenomenal thing, considering that you had the end of December, which I don't know if you studied a lot during that time or not, but generally celebration time. So let's
Right.
go about your GMAT journey to really say, how did you start preparing and essentially chart this journey out, and what are the key things that help you get to the 730?
Sure. So I signed up for e-GMAT in October, actually, like early October, beginning of October. A friend of mine, she is in Kellogg right now, so she told me about e-GMAT, and I was just starting to think about, okay, I need to, I want to go to B school, so I need to give GMAT first. So she told me about e-GMAT. I took the free one of the free video lessons for sentence correction, and that just changed my whole perspective. I was like, okay, this is doable. It doesn't seem daunting because, being an engineer from India, I can understand math is fine. We can figure out its logic, understand the formulas, learn it and do it. But English was daunting and quite intimidating. So after that first lesson, I was like, okay, this doesn't seem impossible. It, can be achieved. So immediately after that class, free class, I signed up for e-GMAT, and that was October. I took it lightly. I took a couple of sessions after that, and there was a couple of vacations, and it just all went back to back burner. But then after Thanksgiving, one thing I did was I took the date. I'm like, if I don't take the date, I will never
To do the
proceed.
GMAT date.
Yeah, GMAT exam date.
Okay.
And I gave myself, in October, I thought 4 months is good time. So I should, but then by November, Thanksgiving, I was like, oh, I only have 3 months left now. And I actually haven't done much. So that's when I started freaking out. But then I'm like, okay, I need to figure out a plan. Luckily, I work from home. So that's a advantage for me. I don't have to commute. So I save a lot of time there. So I'm like, okay. So I started waking up early, 5 in the morning every day. I'm like, okay, spend 2 hours in the morning and 2 to 3 hours in the night. And then diligently took those, weekend classes as well. With for sentence correction, CR and RC. And with one thing I realized that doing the lessons from e-GMAT before the class were very helpful. Because I was familiar with the concept, did the OG questions before attending the class, and just, class was really, really great because it just makes you practice and think thoroughly, right? Think through the whole concept you have just learned. So I think by end of December, I was done with all the coursework for English at least. And during Christmas time, my whole family got sick, so our all celebrations got put on hold in the flu season in US. And but that, it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I'm like, okay, I have all the time now. I was off for a week. Let's just study. There's nothing else to do. So I literally spent from Christmas till after New Year's just study all day. Like, okay, I have this time. Let's make use of it. And so English, so sentence correction, actually, I got pretty good at it really quickly. RC, I was really scared of. But after taking the first class from Payal, I believe,
Yes.
right, I realized, I'm like, okay, it's actually just understanding the meaning, just reading it slowly and nicely so that you can really understand what's going on in the passage. And that just, so I practiced, like I took a week. I'm like, okay, let's do at least 4 to 5 passages every day, right? From OG and from Scholaranium as well.
Yes.
Right. So I started doing that, and like within a week, I realized like I was improving so much in RC. I'm like, okay, this is going great. So RC, I was doing really, really good in Scholaranium. And sentence correction was improving. Critical reasoning actually started pretty good. But then a couple of ability quizzes in Scholaranium like were really bad, like 40%. And that that was concerning.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then one mistake I was doing was not doing the pre-thinking part, which
Okay.
was highly emphasized, right? And it was tempting to just read and just go through the answer choices. It's very, very tempting. But then, I'm like, okay, it's not working out. I actually took a couple of GMAT club tests, and I'm like, okay, let's see how I do in those. And even in those, CR was the weakest part.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to lessons again in e-GMAT. I'm like, okay, let's revise the concepts. And it was really hard to make pre-thinking as a habit, because just not to look at those 5 choices was really hard. But then I was, so I was like, okay, have to pre-think. And then within a week, I started seeing the improvement, like how pre-think was helping out. And really, one thing I realized in CR, the falsification condition was really, really good. That just changes the whole concept, like whole way to approach the problem. Because as soon as you realize that falsification condition, you know exactly what the assumption would be, and even weaknesses and strength in the argument. And so that really, really helped. And then after it, I went to Scholarinium again, and I saw improvement. And one thing I would give you, Scholarinium is amazing. Like, I was like, if I'm doing okay in Scholarinium, I was getting 80%, 70% ability quizzes, and that was giving me a lot of confidence. One thing I did, and that was from one of the debrief videos, I heard someone saying that make sure you go through the wrong answer choices and all the forum under it. I made sure I read the whole forum and see what people are thinking. I was making a lot of common mistakes. So it just gets into your mind. After a while, you automatically think for those mistakes. Okay, you don't have to make those. For example, in sentence correction, the use of word, pronoun which, I was always making a mistake. After making that mistake like 5 times, I just stopped making it, because I started thinking about it, and just automatically became my thought process.
Okay.
So forum was great, right? And then making sure all the answer choices, wrong choices, you understand why they're wrong. So that was I think, very helpful. The biggest mistake, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just noting certain things down. I'll comment on later, but carry on.
Okay. Now, the biggest mistake, I think, in my preparation was taking math for granted. I thought 1 month would be enough, since I'm in tech field, and I'm actually in artificial intelligence, so I do a lot of math in general on day-to-day basis. But I started on February 1st, I started looking at math, and I completely freaked out. I'm like, I just don't remember any of these. And 2 weeks into preparation, I almost postponed the exam date.
Okay.
But then what I'm like, I need to put in a lot more hours. So I just started working in the evening as well, after work at 5 in my office. I told my wife and my kid, I'm like, just forget about me for 2 weeks. I need to do this, and I would like to get a good score. So I had to spend more time in math than I would have liked to. And I saw one of the advice early on from e-GMAT was that do the easier section, whatever is your strong section, do that first. And I did not take that advice. So that was a big mistake. But, so I had to put in a lot more hours, which I would not have to if I had, done it earlier.
So one of the things, I think the constant theme in your preparation is, it just seems like when you started getting things, you hit a momentum, and you kind of continued over, and you hit that next point in your performance. And I think that's a fundamental principle in human behavior, where if we start to do something right, and if we get that positive reinforcement, we give more effort. And it doesn't seem like effort. And so that's kind of what happened with you. And when you saw sentence correction early on before you purchased the course, and you said, oh, this was doable. There was a positive reinforcement somehow, not from the system maybe, but somehow it seemed doable to you. Similarly with reading comprehension, then with pre-thinking overall. And I think, and the same thing with quant, if you feel you're strong in some section, it gives you that positive reinforcement, and it keeps you focused. And so I think that's kind of what we've learned ourselves. So as teachers, one of the things that we try and do is we try and learn new things that may be related to what we do at e-GMAT, or things that may not be related to what we do at e-GMAT. I mean, yesterday I just started doing CrossFit. In CrossFit, you do weightlifting with regards to the bars, and then you do a clean and jerk, and that's something that I always had a problem doing. But yesterday I said, I'm not going to go as heavy, but do it right. And and I did more reps than I was required to do, as per our routine at the end. So so that was, again, it's like, hey, the same thing works in any aspect of what we do as humans. The other piece which is very interesting is you talked about forums, and this has been so I started doing these debriefing sessions towards the end of last year again. There was a gap of about 6 months in which I just didn't have the time. We were launching this new technology platform that you've just seen. So, and essentially, forums has come up again and again and again, where people say they love reading the responses, and so because of this feedback, we enhanced forums in Blitzkrieg. We are actually now doing a second set of enhancement as one of the first things in Blitzkrieg, where we are trying to make the forums group to slides. So in a video, if you have a doubt, you can see only doubts which are pertaining to those portions of the video. So it allows you to go through more focused stuff.
Nice.
So,
so they'll be, I think, very, very helpful. Yeah.
Yes. It'll be super helpful. It'll allow you, give you a lot of context. In the same way where in Scholaranium, where we have done is, and I think we haven't actually implemented it fully, but it's there where you can really look at a doubt against a certain answer choice, and really say questions have people asked against that. So, so in the same way, we're going to do that. But yes, that was very, really helpful. And thank you for that feedback. I also see that your abilities in Scholaranium, the last ones, 82 percentile in RC, 78 in CR, and overall a 91 percentile on verbal that you have on the official test. That's fantastic.
Right. So I was, during the test, I started with quant first, and quant was going well. I think I was happy after that. I had a little bit of timing issue in the end. Like last question, it was easy, and I just didn't have enough time to solve it. So I did like some calculation. I'm like, okay, I just only 5 seconds left. So I just chose the closest one I could think of. And I think I barely made it in time. So I think timing, I could have improved better for quant. But for verbal, when it started, I just didn't, I actually, just today itself, I got my ESR report from GMAT, and in verbal, so they divided into 4 sections, like number of questions, and like the third section was all 100% correct.
Wow.
For verbal, and then first 2 only have like 10% incorrect.
So one mistake each, essentially.
Yeah, 1 or 2 mistakes, right? And then the third one has a lot more incorrect, and that's why the score, kind of dipped a little bit. But I think having first 3 sections, or first 30 questions, a lot of them were correct. So I think that helped. But while I was giving the verbal, RC was really hard, and at least that's what I felt. Like I had to at least 2 passages I have to read them again, because I just could not understand what was going on, right? But because of Scholaranium practice, I did not freak out, at least, and I was able to. I did not feel at any point in the test that everything has gone wrong in previous questions, and I don't know how I'm gonna do. I was just going with the flow, and like CR in my ESR report, CR is 93%.
Wow.
And I was actually surprised to see that. I thought CR would still be the least, but and RC is like 88, and sentence correction is like 74 or 75.
So you did very well in RC too.
Yeah, I did, and I'm surprised. I thought RC would be the lowest and SC would be the highest, but regardless, I think
that's the adaptive nature you can't understand from the test.
Right. Yeah.
So that part is really kind of, and essentially when I look at your last ability quiz in SC, it's 69 over here. And I see we have your stats. I think they kind of match up in some way or the other. So
they do, and in the Scholaranium, SC overall was, I think, okay, because a couple of ability quizzes I actually got almost 100% as well. And But one thing in Scholarinium I did, like last 2 days before the test, I went to Scholarinium and did all the incorrect questions again, or at least tried to did a lot of incorrect questions, all medium and hard. Just because I know I have did the revision again, and so let's see how I do. And those were getting a lot better. So that gave me good confidence just before the test. I'm okay, I have improved on my questions, because in like hard questions are hard, right? And it was just to give yourself confidence. Okay, fine, what I have done in last week now is helping out. So
Yes.
just revising
So
everything.
again, remember, you are in the top 9 percentile in the world, right?
Yeah,
So that's
thanks.
something which is there. And from a logic standpoint, which is primarily CR and RC, you're really up there, essentially. So so I think don't be so hard on yourself. I think your ability is there, and hypothetically speaking, if you were to take the test in 15 days, you'd probably conceivably get a 98 percentile overall, do much better in SC. Though you don't need to, considering that you're aiming for part-time programs at Kellogg and Booth.
Yep.
So,
that's the thing. But yeah, I don't want to give test again. I'm done.
I can imagine that. So let's talk about. So I think I want to talk about one other thing. You said,
Okay.
So you have a family. How many kids?
Just one. He's 6 years old.
He's 6 years old. So
There's another one on the way, by the way. So
oh, congratulations!
thank you.
So when you so you've been studying for GMAT for the last 3 months or so, and which probably would have meant a lot less time with your family.
Yes.
And social commitments too. So how did you? Let me just put it in the right way. So I mean, how did you? So the kind of support that you got from your wife, how did you manage that, and what kind of a discussion did you have with her?
Well, so first couple of months in the holiday season, my wife just quit her job and she's at home now. So I'm at home all day. So that was big advantage, because I'm not out of the house and then coming back home and then just studying kind of thing, right? Because we see each other all day. So that was a big advantage in our case, which is not there in most of the cases.
I would consider that to be a disadvantage, but that's good. Okay.
No, for preparation, I think it was an advantage, because there is no. At least my wife was supportive. She would see me all day and say, "Okay, fine, go. It's fine. We can handle things, right?" And last month, February, when I was talking about the math, right? I was freaking out about math. That's when I know her being pregnant, it was hard for her as well. But I was like, just give me this month. I need this month, otherwise it's just not. I really.
You had that conversation with her, and you kind of. So the goal really was to make sure that there are no surprises from your side towards to her, and so I think that is good.
Right.
What
so
about
I'm like
friends?
Friends. We got like really good friends here. I had to shut down pretty much. And they I called them after the exam, and they were like, "Yeah, where have you been? We were worried." And well, we were in touch. It's not, but we were not meeting every weekend.
So did you set expectations up front with them that hey, this is going to happen for the next couple of months?
No, I didn't tell anyone about the exam, so nobody knew that I'm doing this. But we somehow kind of look, we're busy, with some other commitment kind of thing. We just kind of, and then wife being pregnant, that was kind of use that. So I feel bad about it, but I'm like, just make an excuse. I cannot go out. And but it's not that we completely shut down, but it's like during the weekend we'll go out in the afternoon, but evening I would make sure every weekend I need 4 to 6 hours of studying, like every day, Saturday and Sunday as well. So it's not that I'm completely in the room and locked in, but it was manageable, but friends, nobody had any idea about this. I did tell them after that, and then it made sense to them. Like, oh, it makes sense why we haven't met for a couple of months.
Okay, that's good. Good friendships generally do survive a few months. That's of no contact or little contact, but so that's good. I'm really glad. So that's really good overall. So you planning to apply to Kellogg and Booth? Great score, I think. Good background, having read your resume. Needs positioning, but I think as I said, the sugar is there. It just needs to be stirred in the right way.
Yep. Yep.
So how do you plan
I
to go about doing this?
I purchased the applicant lab yesterday.
Oh, wow. Good.
I attended the free webinar from you, from Maria, and I don't have $10,000 to spend for consultants, and I took the free trial for a week, and I think it's helpful. I just need some guidance, some way to put all my thoughts together, right, and then putting them in paper, basically, right, or in typing them. So I've started that. I think it's really, really great, the advice she has over there, and I think it'll be worthwhile. I did attend the Kellogg and Booth preview days. Like you can
Okay.
go and attend their classes, and that just gave me more motivation. I'm like, okay, I need this. I belong here, kind of thing. So that's the feeling I got out of both of the classes over there.
Okay.
Because after this much experience, you can connect to those classes, and I was participating in the class, talking to professors, right? Even though I was outside, just for a day, and they were very responsive, and I think it's really helped. It makes sense to do it now with so much experience that it's not. I think it makes sense.
It does.
So applicant lab, I think, is the way to go for me. I have a couple of friends here, one in Kellogg, one in Booth, so they are helping out. A lot of people who are ready to review the essays. So I think let's see. I mean, fingers crossed. Hopefully, I'll get in.
You will. You will. I think you have a few things going for you. First of all, I think so. Starting with the GMAT score, the second thing is the timing piece. I mean, you're done with the test in March, which means you do have ample amount of time.
Right.
And the third thing is, having spoken to you, you are methodical, and I think you will get what Maria is saying, and she's an amazing consultant overall, and that's why you chose to partner with her. One of the other things that's really going to happen, so both Maria and I, in fact, three of us, Payala and Maria, will be visiting both Kellogg and Booth in June this year.
Oh, really?
Wow. Yes. So we basically have this conference called e-GMAT conference, and we're starting with Rotman, then we're going to Darden, then we're going to Kellogg and Booth. So Kellogg and Booth are the main hosts this year, and so all of us would be there overall. And so usually it just so happens that when we visit a certain school, our advice for that school actually improves tremendously. So over the last 4 years, we've visited, I think, Europe, LBS and INSEAD. Then 2 years ago, it was Harvard and MIT, Babson and Tuck. And then last year it was Stanford, Wharton, San Francisco, and Haas and UCLA. This year it's these two.
Right. Nice.
So you get a lot more. You get a sense of, if you spend a day in a school, you talk to the dean, you get to talk to the dean, you get to talk to pretty much everyone in the admission committee, and you get to talk to a lot of students as well. You're there for about 10 hours or so.
Okay.
And then they host a reception for you in the evening, so it's a lot more informal. You get a sense of culture at that school, and which, in addition to all the stuff that you know about the school, tells you a lot.
Right.
So you're going to see some enhancements to the suggestions that are already there in June as well. And in fact, right after this conference is when, a few schools release their application or the refresh essays just prior to this, but most schools actually give us the dates. Some of them actually release it during that week itself.
Oh, okay.
And then most schools go and release right after that.
I see.
So you're going to really see a lot of refreshed advice for the current application then and there.
Nice. Yeah, I think hopefully I'll be done by then. But one of the deadlines.
You won't be done by then because the application won't have been released.
No. So for part-time programs, it's the rolling admission at least.
It's a rolling admissions. Okay, I'm way more familiar with the full-time part. For the full-time, the application is not released.
Right. No, for part-time, one of the deadline is May, and the other one is in June.
Okay.
Like middle of June. But that's for fall. I'm hoping if I have enough time, I'm not going to rush into it, but if I have enough time for Kellogg, the deadline is next month actually,
Oh, you should.
for summer admission. So, but I don't want to rush into it, and I want to keep my, make sure my probability of getting in is high as much as possible. So
Okay.
that's why I bought applicant lab. If I have enough time, I'll do it. If not, then I'll just submit it 2 months later.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, I think by June, hopefully, I'll actually will know if I'm getting in or not.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, that's good. Well, good luck for that. One of the things, Mayank, that I'd like you to really do
uh-huh.
is essentially you can take time out to write your debrief if you can.
Okay. Okay.
I think it would be a good exercise. So first of all, you're from a very unique situation where you're doing a part-time MBA. You've been out of academia for that long,
Right.
and you have a family.
Right.
So I think a lot of part-time students don't write their GMAT, write about the GMAT journeys. So I think
Mm.
um, take a couple of hours out, jot down the points. It'll also be a really good exercise with regards to uh, essentially uh, just writing stuff. I mean, if you have that
Okay.
inertia about essays, I think you'll get
Yep.
that inertia off. You'd get
Right.
feedback on your journey, and as a small incentive, if that matters, I can talk to Maria and really say, hey, if at any point you need a 30-minute session with her, we can offer that to you.
Oh, that'll be nice. That
So
yeah, that'll be awesome. Absolutely.
so
I will.
we can do that.
So, so you want me to submit? I was actually planning to, anyways, on GMAT Club. Is
Yeah,
that
just
okay?
just
Or
GMAT Club. Yeah,
okay?
just
Yeah,
so I get
I
success
was.
story on
Yeah.
GMAT Club.
No, I honestly, I'm so impressed by e-GMAT in general. Like I was telling my wife, I'm like, these guys have nailed down the whole thing pretty much. It's made it so easier and so intuitive, and there's no tricks playing around like, oh, you have to learn this trick or that trick. It's all logical, conceptual, and it's so easy to get actually. So I was, I'm really really impressed. So I was planning to write a nice review for you guys, but yeah, I'll write the whole preparation, and of course it will include
Yes, I
e-GMAT.
think the core thing which is there. So I think there's this aspect of e-GMAT which is there, and thank you for that appreciation.
Mhm.
But there is also this aspect which I mean I frankly believe which is more useful to everyone around is
Mhm.
how you went about using the product
Right.
and what other things that you did. I mean the fact that you you spoke to your wife up front, the fact that you had the surprise with Quant and then you again spoke to her. Those
Mhm.
are, they may seem inconsequential to people, but those are, I think, they play a huge impact on that end score.
Sure.
Because to be able to learn, you need to have an uncluttered mind, a mind that's not worried about things.
Mhm.
And if you're worried about it, our learning is severely depressed.
Sure. Sure.
So I think writing about your journey, writing about how you use the resources, you talked about Scholaranium, you talked about ability quizzes, you talked about GMAT Club tests,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
you talked about your experience with RC and then not doing pre-thinking and then doing pre-thinking.
Mhm.
I think those things are really valuable. Those experiences, and you've learned that from video debriefs, right?
Yep. Yep. I
And
have.
and
Yeah.
and and so some people will learn from this
Mhm.
interview. Others would read the same things and learn from it. And I think that is valuable to really say, hey, essentially, if you think about all of what learning is not making the mistakes that others have made, so that you learn
Right.
more things in a shorter amount of time.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. I will be very very happy and glad to write the whole
okay.
debrief. Absolutely.
All right, Mayank. So, any other question that I can answer for you?
No, I think I'm fine at this point. Is it okay if I just I know you have a lot of experience. You have done MBAs and everything. So just sometimes if I need some advice, is it okay to send
Sure.
an email or anything like that?
You can, and so I think since you already have applicant lab, you're welcome to write to me. You're welcome to write to Maria as well. So
Okay.
I'll contact her about you since you've already purchased the product. And she knows you're our student, but she doesn't know that we've done this video debrief. I'm actually going to send the recording of this to her as well,
Okay.
but she also gets some context. Okay.
Absolutely. No, that's really, really helpful. Really appreciate it.
All right. Okay, man. Good luck,
Okay.
and thank you for taking the time out.
Thank you. Absolutely. We'll be in touch. Thanks.
Bye-bye.